Elara Mitchell adjusted the heavy pearl earring, a Harper family heirloom given to her on her wedding day, and forced a smile as her mother-in-law, Eleanor, rearranged a photo of her white son and his black wife on the mantel. Eleanor's grip on the photo frame lingered, her thumb accidentally obscuring Elara's face for just a second. The sun-drenched kitchen in the wealthy, old-money Atlanta suburb was sterilely perfect, smelling of expensive coffee and floor polish. It was late spring, and the Sunday afternoon scene was quiet, wealthy, and very white. Eleanor turned from the mantel, her polite mask firmly in place. "It's simply amazing, Elara," she said, her voice smooth. "How you can pull off such vibrant colors. So exotic." Elara, poised and intelligent, recognized the coded language in the compliment about her dress, but merely smiled and thanked her. She had grown accustomed to ignoring these microaggressions for the sake of peace. Marcus, her husband, looked up from his phone, charming and handsome as ever. "Mom's right, babe. You look great." Later, as they finished brunch, Eleanor and Marcus began discussing a family estate matter Elara knew nothing about. When Elara, who had a background in marketing analysis, asked an intelligent question about the local zoning, Marcus just patted her hand, dismissing her. "Don't worry your pretty head about it, babe," he said, while Eleanor watched with a tight, unreadable smile. Elara felt the familiar sting of being treated as a decorative outsider. Soon, Marcus stood up, giving Elara a quick kiss. "Working late tonight, honey. Don't wait up." After he left, Elara began cleaning up, the silence of the grand house settling around her. It was only then she realized she had left her leather briefcase at Eleanor's during the brunch. She decided she would swing by and pick it up on her way home. She needed her laptop for a presentation in the morning. As Elara was finally leaving, Eleanor stopped her at the door, placing a cool hand on her arm. "I'm so glad you came, dear," she said, her eyes inspecting Elara. "You're such a good, simple girl, Elara. We're so lucky you found us." The word simple stung, sharp and intentional, but Elara just nodded, dismissing it as one of Eleanor's odd, backhanded compliments. Elara pulled up to Eleanor's grand, columned estate. The house was quiet except for a single light on in the kitchen. She walked up the path, planning to just grab her briefcase from the porch where she left it. Eleanor may think Elara is just a simple girl, but we can already see the strength hiding behind her forced smile. If you are standing with Elara and sense the storm that's coming, please show your support by commenting "We see you, Elara" below. We truly love reading your insights as this story unfolds. And if you haven't already, I strongly recommend you subscribe to Black King and turn on that notification bell. Your support helps us continue to create these powerful stories that need to be told. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens the moment she gets to that kitchen window. Let's continue. The kitchen window was open. That's the only reason Elara heard it. She had been walking up the path when the sound of Eleanor's sharp, sudden laugh cut through the quiet spring evening. Elara stopped, her hand on the gate, remembering Marcus's voice just an hour ago. "Working late tonight." But the voice on the phone with Eleanor, clear as a bell, was unmistakably his. She froze, hidden by the expensive azalea bushes near the window. "Oh, honey, she has absolutely no idea," Eleanor said, her voice dripping with a cruel amusement Elara had never heard before. Elara heard Marcus's muffled reply. Eleanor laughed again. "I know, 8 months is a long time, but that stupid, simple girl trusts you completely." Stupid, simple girl. The words hit Elara like a physical blow. She realized with dawning, icy horror that she was the stupid girl. Eleanor continued, her voice gushing. "Chloe is just lovely, Marcus. Much more sophisticated. She's from our world. She understands your position." The implication was clear, suffocating. Chloe was white. "Honestly, I almost feel bad, but then I remember how basic she is. You deserve better." Elara finally understood. Every simple and basic and exotic compliment had been code. It was always about her race. The final, devastating blow came as Eleanor's voice firmed up, all business. "Yes, I'll cover for you next Tuesday. Don't worry about Elara. She's clueless. We're perfectly safe." Elara backed away from the window, her briefcase forgotten, got into her car, and sat for a full minute, her hands shaking before putting the key in the ignition. When Marcus finally came home at 10:30 p.m., smelling of expensive perfume that wasn't hers. Elara was in the kitchen, smiling, with his favorite dinner warming on the stove. He kissed her cheek, and the scent was floral and strong, sophisticated. Elara thought with a new, cold clarity. "Hey, beautiful," he said, loosening his tie. "Sorry I'm late. Johnson is writing everyone about the quarterly reports." "No problem at all, honey," Elara said, her voice smooth and warm. "I saved you a plate." She was no longer the stupid girl from Eleanor's phone call. She was now playing the performance of her life, the loving, oblivious wife. As he ate, she mentioned casually, "Eleanor called earlier just to check in." She watched his face. He didn't flinch. "She loves you," Marcus said, scrolling through his phone. "She always tells me I married up." The lie was so easy, so effortless, it chilled Elara to the bone. Later, while Marcus was in the shower, Elara's performance continued. She picked up his phone. The password was her birthday, a cruel romantic joke. She opened his messages. There it was, Chloe Vance. "Miss you already. Your mom is hilarious." Elara's hands were steady. She photographed everything with her own phone, Chloe's texts, and even the ones between Marcus and Eleanor. Call went well. She suspected nothing. After Marcus fell asleep, snoring softly beside her, Elara slipped out of bed and went to her small home office. It no longer felt like a sanctuary. It felt like a war room. She opened their joint bank accounts and started going back, month by month. 8 months. The charges were all there. Jewelry she never received. Hotels on nights he worked late. Expensive dinners for two. She created a new, hidden folder on her computer, titling it Garden Plans, and saved every single screenshot. She found a charge from a high-end jewelry store for $500. It wasn't her anniversary. It wasn't her birthday. It wasn't her jewelry. The cold realization hit her. They were funding their affair with our joint money. She took a deep, steadying breath, then sent a text to her oldest friend. "Rhonda, are you up? I need you." Her phone buzzed a second later. "Always. What's wrong?" Elara looked at the sleeping man in her bed, then back at the screen. "Everything. I need a plan." Elara opens a new browser window and types, "Best divorce lawyers, Atlanta, specializing in infidelity and financial misconduct." Elara has seen the texts. She has seen the bank statements. The garden plans are officially underway, and the stupid girl is writing the script. If you are still watching and you are 100% on Team Elara, show your support by commenting "Ready for Chapter 4" below, just to let us know you're here for her next move. And if you haven't subscribed to Black King, I truly recommend you do it now and ring that notification bell. Your support is what allows us to tell these powerful stories of resilience and justice. You've seen her make the plan. Now, let's continue and watch her set the trap. Elara sat at Eleanor's polished dining table, smiling as she helped her mother-in-law address invitations for the upcoming vow renewal ceremony. While Eleanor discussed flower arrangements, Elara thought about the garden plans folder on her computer, noting the bitter irony. As Eleanor handed her the guest list, Elara accidentally spilled a drop of ink on Chloe Vance's invitation, smearing the address. "Oh dear," Eleanor said, annoyed. "I'll have to retrieve a new one from the study." Elara's first stop after leaving Eleanor's had been a discreet cafe to meet her best friend, Rhonda. Elara laid out the entire story: the call, the texts, the racism. Rhonda, a tech security expert, was quiet for a moment before her eyes hardened. "That woman," Rhonda said, "is about to learn what happens when a simple girl has a friend in cybersecurity." Within an hour, Rhonda had helped Elara set up hidden cloud backups for all her evidence, ensuring her garden plans folder was completely untraceable. Elara's next meeting was with Mr. James Chin, a private investigator. She provided him with Marcus's and Chloe's schedules. "I don't just need proof of the affair," she said, her voice steady. "I need proof they are doing it together with his mother." Now, back at Eleanor's, Elara played her part. "Eleanor," she said, feigning excitement, "I've been thinking. Marcus has been so stressed. I want the ceremony to be a real celebration. A grand one. I want everyone to see how committed we are." Eleanor looked surprised, then a smug, self-satisfied smile settled on her face. She clearly believed Elara was trying to win back Marcus's affection. And we must invite his entire office, Elara insisted. It's so important to celebrate with his colleagues. That afternoon, Elara left the meeting and went straight to a high-rise building downtown. She signed the lease for a new, luxurious apartment in her name only, using funds from her separate, personal account. On the way home, she stopped at a storage unit and transferred the first box of her grandmother's china. As she was pulling into her own driveway, her burner phone rang. It was Mr. Chin. "I've got what you need," he said, his voice all business. "Timestamped video, hotel check-ins, and one more thing. They're having brunch. All three of them." The venue was perfect, bathed in white roses and soft lighting, and at the front of the room, exactly as Elara had requested, was a massive projection screen. Elara saw Chloe Vance sitting in the back row, trying to look inconspicuous. She was wearing the exact shade of sophisticated red Eleanor had praised on the phone call. Eleanor herself was beaming, the proud matriarch, while Marcus stood at the front, looking nervous but relieved, as if he'd just gotten away with everything. Marcus read his new vows first, his voice thick with fake emotion, talking about stability, trust, and getting through rough patches. He looked like the perfect husband. He finished, and the room turned to Elara. She stepped to the microphone, not in a gown, but in a stunning white power suit that radiated authority. "Thank you all for coming," she said, her voice clear and strong. "Marcus, you've always said I was simple. And I was. I was simple enough to believe you loved me. And," she said, locking eyes with Eleanor, "I was simple enough to believe you." "I call my vows garden plans," Elara said. She clicked a remote. The screen lit up. First, only audio played. Eleanor's voice, sharp and unmistakable. "That stupid, simple girl. Chloe is much more sophisticated. From our world." A collective gasp filled the room. Eleanor's face turned ashen. The audio ended. The screen flashed to photos. Marcus and Chloe, kissing outside a hotel. Timestamped. Then the bank statements appeared, $12,000 in marital funds spent on Chloe Vance. The final slide was a photo from Mr. Chin, Marcus, Chloe, and Eleanor, laughing together at brunch just last week. Marcus lunged for the AV equipment, his face purple with rage, shouting, "Stop this. Elara, stop this now." Elara stepped back to the mic, her voice cold and clear. "No. You don't get to silence me anymore." While chaos erupted in the hall, shouting, crying, Eleanor's friends staring in horror, Elara Mitchell simply set the microphone down, picked up her clutch, and walked out the side exit. She passed the table displaying the Harper family heirlooms. She unclipped the heavy pearl earrings and deliberately dropped them onto the abandoned gift pile. Rhonda was waiting in the getaway car, engine running. Elara got in. "It's done," she said. Her phone immediately exploded with texts and calls. She powered it off and tossed it in the back seat. "His lawyer was served at 3 p.m., Elara told Rhonda, allowing herself a small, tired smile. "Exactly when I started speaking. HR got the full evidence package, too." She didn't go back to the house. She drove to her new, empty apartment. It was clean, modern, and entirely hers. She sat on the floor, looked out at the Atlanta city skyline, and for the first time in 8 months, she cried, not from sadness, but from release. 6 months later, Elara, dressed in a sharp business suit, was leading a presentation in a high-rise boardroom. Her boss stopped her mid-sentence. "Before you continue, Elara," he said, smiling at the other executives, "let me be the first to congratulate our newest partner." Elara smiled, a genuine, powerful smile. She looked out her new office window at the Atlanta skyline, having proven that the stupid girl was the smartest one of all. Elara's journey from a quiet garden of lies to the head of a boardroom is a powerful reminder that true strength is often unseen. When we dismiss someone as simple or basic because of our own prejudice, we often fail to see the most brilliant mind in the room. Like a quiet light shining from a window, a person's true character will always find a way to cut through the darkness of deceit. If this story touched your heart, consider sharing that warmth with those who might need it.